Hello, everybody, and welcome to Maxed and Doubled,
Hello.
episode 2.
Ahoy, hoy.
This is a pre-recorded episode, so this is being done the day after the last one happened because this
can't
coming
get enough.
Saturday. Yeah, exactly. We can't get enough. This coming Saturday, a number of us actually can't be here. So we're having to do this in advance, which means I had 4 hours to write this session. It was great.
Plenty
Really
of
good.
time.
Really wish, Glenn, you could have came, man. It would have helped us out a lot.
Yeah, Glenn.
You have reached a life model decoy of Glenn. Please try again later.
So we don't really have any announcements because they were all done yesterday. Well, at least our time they were. But I guess we'll announce anything on Twitter, so head over to our Twitter. This will be run as a premiere, so it will be run at the normal time, which is where you're viewing it right now. It's so weird to say that.
We are
live in 6 days right now.
Yep. You'll get over it. Come on,
So
man.
weird. It's not. It's
Time
not
travel is
as
really complex.
it's not as easy to understand as YouTube. YouTube's fine. It's just like
I'd say it's
I'll just put this
understandable.
video out in 7 weeks.
Yeah. But then the
just
thing is, you don't
treat-
want to date it on YouTube because when you date on YouTube, the comments are like, "Oh, this was recorded this time," and
I know. It's an absolute
But
shit
we've
fight,
kind of
isn't it?
done that right now.
Well,
We are recording this on May the 5th.
Be with you. And
3 minutes behind schedule.
Josh,
Well, I was being subtle about it. but
I'm not. I'm never subtle.
I was here on time anyway.
I don't know what the word subtle
That's a
means.
lie.
All I'm saying is, I was told a time, and I got there before the time.
So, what? No, you didn't. We told you 2:00,
No, we said 2:30. I even said yesterday.
Yeah, and then he
to-
corrected himself.
and then I
said
corrected
two.
all of us.
No, because you even complimented me.
Yeah,
I remember
he
in the
agreed
time.
And I
with
was
you
like,
on
wait,
it,
no, it's 2
Josh,
o'clock.
and then he corrected himself 5 seconds later.
Just like
You
Captain
just
America.
stopped listening.
Just like Captain America in Civil War, you are once again wrong.
Glad you're on Team Iron Man.
My man?
Team Iron Man. There's an M at the end of team. Did you know that?
No.
Anyway, without further ado,
Yeah, what's happening?
What happened yesterday? I mean, last week.
Since we looked at you.
with the Kaiming Empire preparing to go to war with its classical enemies in the south, we kicked off the campaign in a Chimerian alleyway. Archibald awoke to Silkus offering unsolicited friendship before the two were confronted by a couple of Kaim sanctuaries investigating sightings of a wanted criminal. Before any sort of confrontation was able to take place, a rider clad in mourner's outfit rode past at high speed atop a diseased white horse. The sentries took off in pursuit after receiving some sort of directive, leaving the two wizards to their own accord. Just outside the alley, a ranger we now know to be Sariel was tending to the wound of her wolf companion Sulphur. The three conversed before being interrupted once more by the wailing tantrum of John, having just lost his life work to an unknown assailant. Conversing for some time, with Silkus even finding it necessary to charm John to prevent conflict, another rider, this one in full plate armour atop an armoured horse, appeared. While some initially attempted to flee, Archibald stood his ground and refused to give in to the rider. A battle broke out, but didn't last long as you realised this was a little out of your league. In the final moments as Sariel began losing consciousness, you heard a familiar thrum of a bowstring, and the rider was repelled by a man believed to be Fenrir, Sariel's guardian angel from years ago. Waking up in an infirmary, you decided to share stories over the dinner table, which Silkus generously recommended. After a night of magnificent Gridalian cuisine, you each headed out. You all bed down for the night, reflecting on the events of the day. Silkus drifts off in the penthouse suite of the Hotel Chime, while you other three settle down at the infirmary. A few hours into the night, when most of you are sleeping soundly, something stirs you to consciousness, Sariel. Without moving a muscle as you were taught, you focus your hearing. At first, the barest of footsteps, then thrashing. What would you like to do, Sariel?
Big old bed.
Where's the what direction from me is the thrashing coming from?
You're on your side, and it's currently behind you. And you know this to be the direction of the beds that the other two are sleeping in.
Well, I'm gonna get up.
Okay. You start to move Sariel. Archibald. You manage to drift off to sleep with relative ease. The strain of the day having taken its toll and the exhaustion now kicking in. The first few hours of your night go smoothly. No interruptions to rouse you. Then, your eyes shoot open and you bolt upright. You're still in the infirmary, but John and Sariel are gone. In their places, two horrifically deformed and rotting figures slowly rise from the beds, soulless eyes trained on you. I'd like you to roll initiative.
Oh.
You sure you want me to do this?
I absolutely am sure
can
I want
only
you to
be
do
one
this.
wizard.
Cool. You're not there.
I know.
That's pretty good.
This is all in my dreams.
I need a book. Silly
The
book.
twist of this is all Silkus' dream.
Yeah, that was great.
All right. I'll leave that there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're.
They did real good
I
on
don't
their
know what your
initiative.
defense is.
Okay. Good.
Oh.
God, I do not have enough space up here. Leave that there.
I do miss the alert feat.
Right? Yeah. It is a fantastic feat.
What was your initiative?
Lower than it ever will be again. 9.
9. Okay. So
I will remember that.
So just in case the next time.
What is this, a Telltale game?
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
If you, I'm gonna write it down actually.
We gotta keep the games going. I mean, they're going out of business, so.
Then I guess
Our
we
time to
don't
shine.
have to keep them going.
Oh, we make the money.
Clearly they can't make their own money. Why would we make them money?
Because we make better business choices. And don't hurt.
Okay.
Guys,
I
I'm
wrote it
really
down.
looking forward to level 4.
Oh,
I wrote it down, and if you say that you've rolled like lower than a 9, I hope to remember that, and I will be like, ah,
I really hope.
Noted.
She did.
Okay. The first thing that happens is one of them lunges out of the bed towards you, the bed it's in towards you. It's not very fast, but it does lunge at you. And it's going to take a slash at you. Does
Yep.
14 hit?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Saw what you rolled on the dice. I'm like, that even hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
We beat squishy creatures.
Squishy creatures, that's exactly right. Wow, okay. 7 damage is what you
Okay.
take initially.
Cool. I'm on what I was on yesterday.
As it lunges out of what was John's bed and moves towards you, taking one large swipe at you. It's now your turn.
Cool.
What would
We're
you like
gonna
to
magic missile that bitch right in the face.
Go
yeah,
for it.
buddy.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna change my mind.
That takes an action, man.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Wow, that was pretty good.
off.
Well, hold on. Yeah, it's
Maybe
fine.
maybe minus.
That's a 16.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you still pass, but you take 6 points of fire damage as I cast Burning Hands.
Okay.
Reflexively.
Oh.
So half of what was 12, I assume?
Yep.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yes.
All right. Wow, well done.
That was.
that was loud.
Yeah. that
The
was
second
not-
one's gonna lunge towards you.
Cool.
That doesn't hit. That's only a 10. As it kind of tries to shoulder past the other one, they're big fat beasts, with rotting skin. They look horrendous. And as it tries to kind of shoulder past, it doesn't quite get there, and it just
Okay.
kind of doesn't reach you. Which brings us back around to the first one's turn, which is going to recoil in pain. But going to take another swipe at you. That was a natural 19.
Fuck off. Is there any
Which
point-
is 6 damage.
Ah. Awesome. Great. Glad I had this long rest.
And now it's back to your turn.
Alright.
They're sitting there growling in your face. It's a horrible stench that's just coming off of them.
So what do they sound like? Yeah, that sounds about right. I dreamed exactly that.
I'm gonna shoot the one that I hit with a fire with burning hands. With does that one look a little bit rough?
It looks pretty rough.
Cool. I'm gonna shoot it with one magic missile and
Yep.
then the other one with 2 magic missiles.
Okay, roll your
So
damage.
against it, that's 4.
Okay, you actually take it down.
Cool. And against the other one, that's 7.
7. You take that one down too.
Cool.
They both go down, and as you manage to drop both of them right in front of you with the 3 magic missiles, you also lose consciousness and fall back into bed.
Hell yeah. Did I actually lose hit points?
No.
Just like it, friends.
Dream sequence.
Yes.
Your brain right now.
Did I lose spell slots?
No. Hearing the thrashing, Sariel, you snap around and see a figure standing over the bed of Archibald, as the wizard himself writhes violently. Sariel, I would like you and John to both roll initiative.
Tag team of dreams.
John, as you approach the tattooed wizard, he begins to thrash about in his sleep. The closer you
Ow.
get, the more intense it becomes until you are standing at the foot of the bed. Preparing yourself, you start to make a move when Archibald rolls nimbly to his feet. In the darkness of the night, you can see now the runes on his skin beginning to glow under the arm wraps, and a dark aura forms around his eyes.
Low arm wraps.
Before you have a chance to react, the wand flies from his belt to aim at you, the runes there also glowing with an intense purple hue. Both of you, including Sulfur, would like to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Including sulfur.
Including Sulfur.
Does you get it?
Oh.
What were your initiative rolls?
8.
Lower than Glenn. Exactly the same, actually.
Ooh.
Oh god, I need this.
So wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
14.
The wisdom save?
Yep.
Okay. And so you rolled 8 on initiative.
How do I work out what her wisdom save would be? Was it just the plus that's on the back of her wisdom?
There are 2 bubbles next to the wisdom score.
Yeah.
One's saving throws and one
I'm not
is.
talking mine. I'm talking.
Oh, Sulfur.
Oh.
If it doesn't state in the stat block that there is a saving throw for wisdom, then it's just the same as the wisdom modifier.
So okay, so she's just +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was your initiative?
8.
8 as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm at 13 dex, so +1.
yeah, so she's a +3.
I have +3.
Yeah.
Oh, very dexterous.
Because it seems logical.
Only logical.
Rolled
Well, I
terribly
didn't have high
for-
dex, yeah.
Okay. Before you get a chance to do anything, either of you, what was your wisdom save? Sorry.
For both of us,
Yeah.
so she gets 18 and I get 14.
Okay. All 3 of you feel your bodies lock up. You become paralyzed. You cannot move, and you're unable to take actions as the wand
Excuse
emits
me?
an umbral projection, and you all feel yourself lock up.
I'm starting to really not like Archibald.
You got really. You're the hated.
Don't think you're off the hook.
No, I'm off the hook. I'm totally off the hook.
At this point,
Yeah, Josh, your character is annoyingly friendly. Don't
Hold
worry,
on.
I don't like him either.
That's a.
Was that
hey,
count? Should she have
you said that annoyingly friendly.
advantage?
That's still good. I call that a plus my
It's
book.
worth asking.
at which point, you see Archibald with his glowing arms reach out, and he puts his hand towards you, John. I would like you now to make another wisdom saving throw.
God.
I think this is a wisdom saving throw. Let me check.
This is really crazy.
I think it was roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh!
Oh, don't
Oh
tell me.
no!
Oh, wow.
Suppose you have to make that decision on.
Wait, hold on. Is that the first one of the campaign?
I think it might be.
It is.
That's the first natural one.
And Michael
Yeah.
did it.
Of
I mean,
the
it's very on
campaign.
point.
It is.
Probably becomes an important question at this point. I haven't had a long rest yet, right?
You leveled up, so you technically do.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I don't want to get a nat 1 while on 1 hit point.
That would be bad.
With that nat 1, I would like
Hit my chair.
the three of you to leave the room, please.
Oh. I'm like,
Can I just
I'm not
deafen?
actually there. You could just turn off the camera.
I can just deafen, right?
You can deafen if you like, yeah.
But he might be very visual in his description.
Head over to the bedroom or outside,
Give
that'll
myself a nice
work. Oh god, I'm looking at myself.
I know. Frightening.
It's very frightening. This is the other page. Where is my other page? Oh, it's in here. No, it's not. Where did I put my other page? Oh, there it is. John, as you succumb to the spell, you see in your mind a clear picture of a sterile laboratory. In the center, a figure lies on an operating table, with a tattooist leaning over him. You don't recognize the face of either of them, but you do recognize the designs of the tattoos that cover the subject's body. Over to one side, another man stands holding an open folder reciting instructions to the tattooist. In the background, behind a glass observation window, you catch a glimpse of a face seemingly hiding from the side of the room. To see this, the memory is almost painful. The man behind the window is the same man whose death caused you to flee Grodalia 6 years ago. The scene plays out in front of you, and someone else enters the room. An older man, also with the intricate tattoo designs but in lesser quantity, strides in and barks angrily at the man with the folder. The words are distorted, but you manage to make out a few. Another mistake like that! Distortion. Put you on the slabs ourselves. And then, no one's to know. At this, the observing figure opposite you disappears behind a wall. The next you know, you wake up from a good night's sleep, having rested well after the exhausting events of taking on the riders the previous day. You may all return to the room now. Feel free to write all of that down.
Yeah. So did that kill you?
He's dead. He's died completely.
Oh, cool. So,
gone.
so roll for 4d6s.
Leave you alone for like 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty then.
Just critted and straight
I
up
was
dealt
like, I
60
wonder if
damage
anyone's
all the
actually
way
gonna see
down.
Yeah, there it is.
It was disintegrate, was it? Nah.
Oh god, yeah, you that character.
That disintegration with a nat 1 fail save
That's
would
200
be
damage.
150.
150.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
was worried
Maximum,
nobody would
maximum
look
damage
to
of
come
disintegrate is 100.
Yeah, so max and double.
So it's 160. Sorry.
Yeah, because it's
I don't know
plus,
how that
It's
one
plus
works.
40.
plus 40.
Oh, we're not doing doubles on that.
No, we don't do the doubles on anything that's not the dice.
Cool. Yeah, because I could have sworn that was a thing at one point, and I was
No.
panicking.
No. Disintegrate would be a little bit ridiculous with that.
Oh, power.
As
kill,
would like,
man.
yeah, any of those.
Prismatic
Finger of
wall.
death.
Yeah, God.
Yep.
Alright.
Alright, so.
So,
Alright.
Sariel, you watch as both Archibald and John fall to the ground. Looks like they're unconscious. The runes stop glowing on Archibald's arms and the aura leaves his eyes that you just caught. What would you like to do? You're
Go
no
check
longer
their
held.
pulses.
You're no longer paralyzed.
I want to check their pulses.
Okay. You head over. Make a medicine check for me.
I'm going to use my keyless dice for this. Oh, that's pretty good. 21.
Very nice. You go straight in, check the pulses. They're both still alive. They're both still breathing. Their pulses are fine, if a little fast. But they are currently unconscious.
Okay. Can I slap one of them?
You absolutely can.
I'm
Which
gonna
one would you
slap
like to slap? Archibald?
Oh, my.
Okay.
Well, he's the reason I got paralyzed,
It's
I
like
think.
slapping a nuke,
So-
though.
Roll
Oh,
a...
no, it's not a hard slap. It's a wake up. You
It's a
know, when
roll a
somebody's fainted and
constitution
you tap
saving
them on the
throw.
face and you like wake them up.
Yeah.
20.
Okay, your slap actually brings him back to the world of the living.
Ow.
You have just been woken up violently from nightmare, and for some reason you're on the floor.
Why am I on the floor?
Beats me. You alright?
Do I feel alright?
You feel no different as to when you went to sleep. You feel like you've gained some hit points back and maybe some spell slots as well, but
I think I was having a bad dream, but
Yeah, next time you have a bad dream, maybe don't paralyze me.
I did what now?
Yeah.
How would I do that?
No clue. I stood up to find out what was going on and I couldn't move. And you were glowing.
Okay.
So I assume it was you. I really doubt it's this guy. Pointed, John on the floor.
Drooling and.
I don't have an explanation. All I have is an
I-
apology. I'm
I am
sorry.
perhaps a bit worried to sleep near you now.
I am as well. Oh,
I'm going to wake up John.
while she
Okay.
does that, I'll leave the room.
okay, you're just leaving. Roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Hey!
It's pretty freaking good. You wake up.
24.
You wake up and you feel very groggy.
Yeah.
It's like when you have just the vaguest of memories of some dreams, or maybe you woke up a
Yeah.
couple times during the night and went to the toilet or something, and you just have you there's something there, but you can't hold on to it. That's what you feel at the moment.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't know why you're on the floor,
Yeah.
and you don't know where Archibald's gone.
Yeah. So like, sorry.
You alright?
Um.
You
Tell
look worse
me.
than he did.
Think so. Do you know what the hell just happened? Like, do you know what the hell's up with Archibald?
I was further away from him than you were.
Yeah.
You'd know more.
Lucky you, I guess. I'm not helping that man the next time he has a nightmare.
Is he still lying on the ground? If he is, I'm gonna help him up.
Yeah, I'll take your hand up. Thanks.
Where
I
are
don't know about
heading?
you, but I'm gonna go back to bed.
Yeah, that
Just,
sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a good idea.
I think Archibald's got a little bit to think about. He went for a bit of a walk, I think.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
fair.
roof access?
Not from this building, but it's a around this area, there's no shortage of ways to get up onto roofs. Either where the land dips down a little bit and you can literally just hop onto someone else's roof, or where the walls are broken enough that you can just climb.
Because I'd like to go up high.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay awake for the rest of the night. I'll just be looking out over the city from whatever I can see.
Okay.
Just pontificating.
Yep. At this point, it is very early morning. Sun hasn't risen yet, but it's not far off. You sit up there on one of the roofs, staring out over the city. It's a very, very large city. The scale of it, now that you're seeing it from above, is it's insane. You can barely comprehend it. You two head back to sleep.
Yeah.
You can all now gain a long rest if you haven't done so already, even if you've lost hit points and such. Feel free to heal yourself and get your spell slots back. And as dawn breaks, Silkus, you awaken from a very good night's sleep in one of the best beds in Chimeria.
Oh, yeah.
This might be why I want to punch Josh's character.
In the Hotel Chime, penthouse suite. What would you
Don't
like
hate
to
me
do,
'cause you hate
Silkus? You are aware that
you
these three
really
are in the
just say
infirmary.
don't hate me because you hate me?
Yes. Oh wait, I heard don't hate me because you hate me.
Both are very much worth mentioning. I'm gonna go. Gonna get ready. Make sure I have everything on me. Take my satchel. Take everything I've got, and I'm gonna.
Steal some food from the minibar.
I don't need to steal it. I am going to then probably make my way down, and I'm gonna. This hotel, it has a breakfast, like a
Oh yeah, they're
restaurant?
full
You
facilities
are so
in this
food
hotel.
orientated.
I like what I like, and I'm gonna go and have some breakfast.
Okay. You eat at the Hotel Chime.
Mm.
Again, they know you well here.
Yep.
So you have absolutely no problems with any of this.
Great.
You're very familiar with all the wait staff.
I'll quickly,
very familiar with the rooms.
I'll quickly just talk one of the waiters, and I'll just go like, excuse me. Has anyone come to actually try and see me this morning? Has anyone come in that's kind of asked about me or anything like that?
The waitress kind of looks at you and says, "I'm not really the person to ask. I'm sorry."
No, absolutely, that's fine. Could you get me your manager, please?
I'm not sure what he could do either. I think you'd probably be looking for the reception staff.
I have to get up. Sure. Fine. Fair enough. Thank you very much. And I just put a silver in her pocket.
Okay, she appreciates that.
And I'll finish my eating. I'll go up to the manager and I'll reiterate the same question.
The manager is a halfling, and the receptionist. And as you walk over, you address him, and he kind of goes, "Oh, hello, Silkus."
Hello. I know you're probably busy. It's early in the morning. But I was just wondering if there's anyone that has come to look for me, or if I got any mail or anything along those lines. I had 3 acquaintances that I met that I offered them to stay here, but they declined. But I'm just curious if they've actually come by recently at any time this morning.
No, not to my knowledge. We haven't had any visitors since the morning. You were the last person to check in.
That's quite a shame. Well, thank you for the lovely service. It's been really quite, and I leave.
Okay.
I just trail off and just
Thank you for
He's
the lovely
used to this
service.
kind of behavior, so he
Thank you
just-
for the lovely service. My father will hear about this.
I do turn around. I'm just actually just a quick note as well. If anyone comes to actually ask me that along the lines of Norwood family, could you please not let them know that I've left? Just say I'm upstairs, and I'll be down for a bit.
Of course, sir.
Thank you. You have a lovely day.
And you.
And I go to walk out, and I start heading to. Yeah, I'll quickly stop by the infirmary, see if they're still around.
Genuinely thought you were going for the butchers first.
Me too.
I still haven't fixed that sign.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll make that my second stop. It's on the way, I'm sure.
It is not on the
The
way.
infirmary's on the way, though.
The infirmary is on the way to the butchery. If that's what
Exactly.
you mean.
So, I'll make a quick stop to the infirmary, then the butchers. Thank you for the reminder.
These two are still at the infirmary. Make a perception check for me as you move down the
Perception is a plus. Right there. That's where is my stuff?
It's literally the
There
exact
we
same
are,
order
11.
as the other ones.
11. Yes.
You don't know where Archibald is once you reach the infirmary. He's not there, but Jong and Sariel both are.
Oh. Morning, Silkus.
Oh, morning. I take you had a good sleep?
Interrupted during the night. That odd wizard over there had some nightmares, I presume.
All right. Speaking of such, where is he?
He still hasn't come back.
Beats me.
On the left. That's probably
He
not
seemed
so
to have
good.
some kind of nightmare and managed to use magic while he was asleep. Like an unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
I don't like not having control over my own body.
Roll an Arcana check for me, Silkus.
Just that ask. Ha! 24.
Damn.
24.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice roll.
This
Thank
freaks
you.
you the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
You have never in your life heard of someone who can cast while they were asleep. It usually takes a great amount of concentration and practice while awake to even cast at all, let alone being able to do it in their sleep. You've never heard of this, and in fact, it's stated, or it's heavily implied, that someone without consciousness physically cannot cast.
Oh, that's. So he cast. Okay.
He didn't say anything either.
Oh.
Did you hear him say anything, John?
No.
Do you know
not
where
a
he
word.
went? So he just left. Do you have any?
Well,
I figured.
when
he
he
went.
woke up, I explained that it was a very freaky instance and I would be wary about sleeping near him. He said he would be wary about sleeping near him too. And then when I was waking up John, he just left.
All right. Well. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go quickly search for him. If you guys want to come along, that's probably. It's up to you.
Well, I can. Maybe me and Sulfur could track him.
Yes. Yes. You Sulfur. Sulfur. Very good tracker. Yes.
I'll
You
come
might want to
along.
ask her nicely, so because you
Sulfur,
did insult her.
do you by any chance be able to help track your this damaged goods per se?
She's gonna.
You are so getting disintegrated.
He's
she's
gonna hit
like,
level.
look-
He's gonna get these level 5 spells, and you are dead.
6.
6. Those ones.
She's just gonna lick Silkus's hand if she can reach it, and start sniffing
the
around.
leftover meat.
Okay.
And I'll look for something I can use to track him.
Roll a. Oh, what would this be for sulfur? Roll a survival check with advantage for sulfur.
Yeah, buddy.
And if you're also looking, yeah, if you're also looking around, roll regular for yourself as well.
Survival's wisdom. So she's got 15,
15.
and I get a nat one,
And that one.
which makes that. Oh, you said survival, right?
Survival,
That
yeah.
makes mine a 5.
Hey.
I am in a strange place. This is not my favorite terrain.
You start. You let sulfur begin sniffing the room. You walk her over to Archibald's bed to get the scent, and then have her start to follow. You're looking around yourself in the meantime, and there's nothing indicating the direction he would have gone. You kind of head out the door, and You don't even know if he went out the rear door or the front door. There's no way you could tell. Sulfur picks up the scent though and begins heading out the rear door, and you all follow.
Yeah, absolutely.
You all follow Sulfur and Sariel down a couple streets, winding through the blights in the typical fashion. And eventually Sulfur comes up to a... not a broken down wall, but one of the more rugged looking houses, and stops, kind of sniffs up the wall and just looks up.
Good girl.
Is this where... I don't
suppose
see him.
it's Up. If he went around the building, she would have followed the scent around.
Alright, there's a door to go in, or?
This is just a wall on this side.
it's just a wall.
There's a door on the other side, you would assume.
I'm gonna
I'm
get
gonna-
down on like one knee and do the whole hand support thing, wait for him to try to like climb up.
No, that's not something. That's not really my thing.
No.
I appreciate
Fine.
it though.
I'm gonna climb the wall. I'm just gonna like look at him like deadpan, like
Make an acrobatics check.
So
for
this
me.
is just a wall.
acrobatics.
Yes.
I really hope that you scale this wall while keeping
Unnatural 20.
while
Unnatural
keeping eye contact.
Very nice. Yeah, you make it up there, no problem. It's not very tall. It's only a 15-foot high building at the very most. As you get up there, you see Archibald sitting in the center of the roof. It's a flat roof, this one. Just kind of staring out over the rest of the city. The sun has risen at this point, and he's been here for however long he's been here. It looks like he's been here all night.
I'm
You see
going to-
Sariel crest over the wall next to you.
Can he actually see me, or am I going up to his back?
He can see you.
Hi.
Hi.
You alright?
I don't have enough of a baseline yet to make that call.
I'm gonna like try and subtly lean my hand over the edge of the wall and like motion up. Like, like
You both see this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna like go first, seeing if I can like vault up and scramble them.
Yeah, make an athletics check for me.
That is 14.
14. You make it up, no problem.
Yeah.
Hey. Roboth. Neatly folded. Put it aside somewhere that's not too obvious.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna like
Tunic,
stay on the edge
sleeves
and
up,
watch.
roll up, cane, mouth.
I'm assuming his acrobatics roll is gonna be like really, really bad, so it's gonna be great.
Make a acrobatics check. for me.
Acrobatics?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's that's about the same.
6.
Doesn't matter. I know what it is. I just want to double check. Acrobatics.
Listen,
That's the
listen to
four.
A 4. John, you
That's a
stand there
four,
looking
please.
over the edge. You've seen Archibald and Sariel up there. You stand there looking over the edge, watching as Silkus attempts to climb up. He gets maybe 2 handholds up, and then just pulls a loose stone out of the wall and tumbles back to the ground, landing on his back.
I think this is the first time anyone has here has seen me grin. I'm just like, all right.
Can I
And
get
like,
a bit of a hand there?
I'll lean my hand down over the edge.
All right,
Yeah.
make an athletics check now with advantage.
Hey, this is gonna be worse.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'm so glad for that advantage. That's a nat one.
Another nat one. Let's go. Double nat one.
Let's have some fun with this one. A 10, so 9.
Okay. With
Oh my
John's
god, you have
help,
a minus?
I'm a wizard.
with John's help, you do manage to get hauled up there. None of the credit goes to you.
Oh, I did not take the credit of that at all.
You are now all on top of the roof.
You're a lot
And
stronger than
Archibald's
you
still
look.
sitting there in
Hey.
the center.
Oh. Anyone else tired? Okay.
No, it's just tired.
Archibald. Heard about the casting. How you doing?
I don't
You
know.
cast in your sleep. That's actually quite. Hold on. Cast in your
Let's
sleep.
go
That's really.
with surprising.
That's
quite
actually really quite scary.
surprising.
Do you have any? Do you have any? Did you? Were you? You're currently asleep. So you did you have any dreams or anything? Do you remember anything? Maybe unconscious, something loose memory, or I don't know.
I don't know what happened. I was asleep and then I was attacked. And
Attacked by what?
then two big ugly creatures that rose up out of their beds. And
Well, that explains why you paralyzed us.
then I was asleep again, then I was awoke, and then I was woken up by Sariel.
Hmm.
I was on the floor. She said she didn't feel comfortable sleeping near me.
Yeah,
So
No,
I
I
left.
said I would be
Well and good.
wary about sleeping near you. Wary.
There's no need for to be. You know, you can drop the formalities. That's terrifying. And I can 100% agree with anyone that do not want to sleep around that, because that is like a bomb going ready to go off.
Well,
No
my
offense, I'm not
wariness
here
was
to
more.
exactly give you
he
the
didn't-
most.
He didn't harm us. Come on. He just made it so we couldn't move. As far as I'm aware, I mean, John, you passed out. I don't know what you
Would I
dealt
know
with, but
if that was what kind of spell that
didn't
was?
hurt me.
Based on their description, we're making a kind of check with disadvantage.
Oh, because Josh has an idea. But... Oh.
Yeah, but we have no idea, so
Oh.
we're not being
Ah.
helpful.
That's a 2 plus 5, so 7.
7. You know a number of spells that can paralyze someone. Beyond that, you don't know what happened to John based on what Sariel just said, how John fell unconscious. But
Does he?
it could be one of the many spells paralyzing someone. All of them are well and truly above your level, and from what you've seen from Archibald, also well and truly above his.
Does his tattoos, his markings, look any different?
The ones you can see, no change.
You might have a quick look at the tattoos.
Alright. Hold on, right?
Do they look any different?
From your memory, they don't look any different. They don't look like they've changed or shifted in any way. Sariel, of course, you saw, actually both of you, saw his runes glowing before, and you've seen his runes glowing before as well.
Is that normal for the magic using in this world? I can't remember.
When Silkus cast on John, you didn't see his tattoo light up, even though you know where it is.
This girl's kindly covered by my robe.
Sariel, when you cast, your tattoo doesn't light up.
Didn't think so. I couldn't quite remember though, so I didn't want to say it.
I'm starting to see why you're wanted.
Well, that's what I said yesterday. Perhaps somebody wants him because they want to know more about him.
Well, if I know who
Somebody
would
might
be
want to
wanting
study
you,
him.
I'd prefer not to actually take you to them, because they're not exactly the most favourable people.
I don't
It
think
kind of causes a bit
giving.
dilemma.
I don't think giving him up to anybody is a good idea. If I'm right and somebody wants to study him, it's not going to be a pleasant experience.
Absolutely not. I can definitely agree with you there. If anything, this puts actually this doesn't put me in a dilemma. It actually gives me a alright opportunity. Words are fucking hard today.
Especially in that accent.
Oh, they really are. I believe you actually know that I was talking about leaving. That hasn't actually really changed. I'm actually going to be leaving. I was actually planning on leaving after fixing up the butcher's sign. I think might be a good idea if you come with me and we can go out away from this place, and then we can probably find answers elsewhere. Safer way to find it, because people I know would not be the safest.
What happened to you last night? What did I do?
You try to recall, and you bring up a blank. From what you can tell, you slept all night.
I really do not remember. Like, I remember being woken up by Sariel, right? Or
You
not even
no
that?
longer do. No, it's
Okay.
all gone from your memory.
Okay. I don't recall. I remember waking up in the morning and, like, you had gone. I feel like I would have remembered that, but it's just a wispy dream that, woof.
Okay.
I really hope that amnesia of yours isn't contagious.
Last I checked, amnesia's not really. No, not really.
When did you last check?
Part of my studies.
I mean, one would hope so, but I remember absolutely nothing about last night, which is less than I usually remember
To be fair,
when I get attacked in the middle of the night.
when an incident happens or something that's severe, the brain works in such a unique way to actually make you forget such. So it's not exactly uncommon for you not to remember that. That being said, there's my offer, Archibald. If you don't want to come, you want to stay here, that's really up to you. I can't force anyone to come with me.
Why do you want to leave? You know everyone, and you seem to get along with everyone. Why would you give that up? I know no one and would really prefer to know people.
It gets a bit bored over here, and I kind of want to see the world a little bit. I want to do a little bit of venturing. I want to see things. That's the whole point. I've seen the same amount of people, and there's a lot of people. Too many days, too many times. It's been a lot, and I just want to see something new. This place. I love this place. It's interesting, but when you see this all the time, it gets stale. And now I want to find something different.
If you're heading out, are you going to follow through on that promise you made about introducing me to your bank fellows, or do you have some contacts that spread really wide?
I do have contacts in here, yes. I do have contacts, I would say yes, spread quite wide. There's a wide reach. My family has quite the reach, and I'm sure I can find someone that could be able to help you out with that. But to be fair, if you actually want to stay, I'm sure I can probably say a name at some point. But I don't really have the time right now. I want to go.
Alright, if you're going to clear out, then I'll tag along for the sake of a proper introduction, but I do hope we're heading somewhere that is influential enough for it to be worth its salt.
Oh, everywhere is influential, depends on the person. But yes.
Roll a history check for me.
So weird.
Roll an insight check. Just
Do you believe him?
do I believe me?
22.
22. There are two main paths that you can see yourself heading down at the moment. One of them being the banks, with Silkus' connections. The other being the last person, the only person that you know you've shared your research with. The last time you saw them was in Gredalia.
Okay.
Oh, so you want to tag along then?
I'll tag along if you're still willing.
And that's perfectly fine. More the people, more the merrier.
I've got an old colleague, I guess you could call him, who I knew in Gredalia, who, if anywhere is as good as anywhere, then I'd be especially happy to tag along if we're going in that direction.
What'd be the person's name?
It was Jeremias.
Jeremias.
Yeah, Jeremias Croft.
How do you spell Jeremias?
Jeremias.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Could definitely check that out if you want. Honestly, I'm not going for anywhere particular. I'm just seeing what I can go, stumble upon, and just learn.
Sariel, you don't seem to be the same as these two in terms of city life.
She pretends to be more of a adventurer type to me.
Why? What brought you here?
I was tracking something.
Did you find it?
I think so.
What are your plans?
You, I believe, are all talking about heading north.
I guess that could be said, yeah.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
Forget me.
That's exciting.
Well, there are 3 gates out,
Well, if
out of
you-
Chimeria, and then there's the harbour.
We
But if
took
you
the
guys are
harbour.
talking about going to,
I mean,
The harbour is far
Gridalia
north because you're on the
is
north
more.
coast of Dale and Dow.
I guess
Oh, so
the
there
question
we go.
is Gridalia north of us?
Gridalia is pretty much directly west of you,
Okay.
across the ocean.
But if you turn around a
oh,
little
across
bit,
the ocean. I don't know. There was an ocean. I was just looking at Gridalia is in Thrak. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
so
And
yeah,
Fleck,
so
blah, blah, blah,
Gridalia
blah,
is
south of
the
Anistrom, and Anistrom is north of here.
Gridalia is one of the biggest cities in Thakrantha, which is the continent directly west of Dale and Dow. It's
Okay.
across the
So they're going to
whatever
go
ocean that
west.
is. I know 2 oceans off the top of my head, and the other one I've forgotten. But it's across the ocean to the west.
They're going to go west.
Well, it depends where they're
could be just flip
where
the
they're
coin
deciding
or-
to go.
Really, I'm not exactly.
Well, where are you
Lucero
going?
Ocean.
So,
Well, I mean, do you have any plans yourself now that you've tracked what you thought you tracked, that you've been wanting?
he's not here. Well, it's not here.
yes.
It left. And it went south.
Oh, I mean,
The only link I have to whatever is affecting sulfur is that diseased horse and rider.
That one went east, so you know.
Okay, well then I want to go back.
oh, we're all pointing in different directions.
The nurse in the infirmary told you that the armored one went south.
Yeah, and Fenrir followed the armored one.
Yes.
So I know it. I want to go south, but for her sake, I want to track, like for Sulfur's sake, I want to track the diseased horse.
Yeah.
South did kind of talk to me a little bit, but I mean, honestly,
Do you want to talk to her?
not particularly. No, I'm actually more happy when you say her.
The
you-
wolf.
The wolf.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to her actually. That's just mind, because I remember not
Okay.
to get bitten.
Then I will cast speaks with animals. Speak with animals. Okay.
I didn't know you could cast that on someone, but go for it.
No, I can talk to her if I cast it.
Ah.
So I can talk.
Oh,
I can
okay. I
translate.
see what you
Ah,
mean.
you're gonna be the
Gonna
translator.
I
talk,
can
yeah,
translate.
translator.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, well,
Okay, I cast it for her. How about that?
Yeah.
oh, this is quite interesting. Don't think I can do that yet. What if I can ever?
You don't recognize this one.
That's something I could maybe not do. Yes, I know.
Well, if you want to speak with her, I will translate as best as I can.
By all means, this is quite a crazy couple of days. Talking to
Oscar,
Wolf now.
feel free to be Sulfur if you like.
Oh God, no! She's your wolf. You know her better than I do.
Sulfur.
Oh yeah, but you know.
Alright. Sulfur. We've got a couple of people in this little kind of group right now wanting to go different directions. What's your preference? Do you want to go where Sarella Word can't do it, man.
I
Can't do it.
I will say on that question, Sulfur does have a preference. Sulfur's very familiar with one person's smell and very hateful of another's.
Is it me?
She wants to go south.
I want to go south. Well, that's 2 for south.
Like she's literally, if I was to translate directly from like dog speak, wolf speak, she's going, that way smells good. I want to go that way. Fenrir's that way. Can we go that way? And she's like kind of like almost doing the pointer dog pointing of like the direction she wants to go in and wagging her tail.
Well, that's 2 for south. You
Well, no, see, I'm torn.
have- Torn?
She's sick and I want to help her.
Hmm.
But she doesn't want to track. She doesn't want to track it because obviously it hurt her. She's not thinking of it in the way that we can find out what it is, and she's just like, "Oh my god, I smell him," and wants to find him.
Right.
This is the tiefling,
Hmm.
just by the way, that she's smelling.
Okay. Well, I have many directions. I don't have a preference, really. I'm just happy to go anywhere that's not here. What would you like to go? You don't know anywhere, but if you had to pick a direction, which one would you choose from what they've been saying?
Roll intelligence check.
Are you proficient?
She's very proficient in intelligence.
16.
16. Listening to the conversation, you want to know more about what's going on with you. You also realize that being in this city, the longer you are, the more chance there is someone's going to recognize you who you don't want to recognize you. On top of that, from their descriptions, this place that John and Silkus are considering going together is across an ocean, whereas everything Zariel's been looking at is still on this continent, within range of this city.
Actually, now that I think about it, there might be a city that could actually help you. It would be probably Usen. You don't really know Usen, I guess, because you can't remember. It's the city of technology, which could very much help. I'm sure I have a couple of connections in there somewhere.
You definitely do.
But isn't Yusin where the bounty on Archibald's head's coming from? Do we really want to go towards the person who
That's
wants
a
it?
very good point. Oy. Well,
I'm
probably best not risk that right now, I guess. Do you want to run away from knowledge or want to go to it?
What I want to do is make up for what happened last night. Because that's the only thing that I currently know that I need to fix. So I would prefer helping out the wolf and then going with you guys. You guys are the only people I know in this world. So
We could have found a better group. I only know really him. That's in passing, really.
So I think for starters, let's figure out what's wrong with the wolf and try and help her. And then we go wherever you two want to.
That sounds fine with me. What would you think?
Alright. I guess I'll just have to talk to some people on the way. See what contacts we can dredge up.
I'm sure there's somewhere we can find. Trust me, I'll meet someone, I'll get talking, and sooner or later, they'll probably spill in all the information to me. It's fine. So, I guess in that case, we're going south.
Oh,
East.
looks
East? Even
east.
better.
Well, I don't know about you guys.
As I
As
point
much
your
as
own
Sulfur
direction.
wants to find Fenrir, I don't particularly want to be up against that armored rider again anytime soon.
Not really either. I mean,
That's where Fenrir went. He chased after that rider.
I guess we just gotta be more prepared if we ever face something like that. Because, not gonna lie, I don't really know much about adventuring, but one thing I do know is riddled with enemies, riddled with monsters. So, better be prepared, honestly.
That's the truth.
Okay.
All right. Well,
You're gonna have to learn to get your boots muddy, I suppose, but
yeah, it's one of my fears.
east is the way.
Yeah, I got a phobia. And all right. Well, we're not going to get really far with just walking. I'm sure I can find a stable, kind of find some transport. I'm happy to pay for the transport, and we can shove off whenever we want.
Don't you have Witch's Scientifics?
Yes, of course, of course. First, I'm going to do that. Then I'll find us a stable. You guys all ready to go whenever, or do you want to do something before you leave?
I got no loose ends.
I mean, you're a loose engine yourself, so. What about you?
Hmm?
Do you got anything you want to do before we leave? Because I still got to do a couple things. Got a little few chores.
Yeah.
That was
Don't really think. Oh, I wouldn't mind picking up something, maybe clean bandages, some herbs
I'm sure we can find something.
for healing purposes. It's not very often that you find clean bandages in the wilds.
Oh, you don't. Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that, a clean bandage tree.
I just thought the silk is from the wild.
And with that, I think we're going to take a break.
Thank you.
So,
Hey,
we will be back.
We're going somewhere.
I love the idea that Silkus believes that silk comes into being in its fabric form.
It's all he knows.
You are
How
the
to get it out of
worst.
my system. Yep, it's all out.
Welcome back, everybody. Our break for you was probably only about 3 seconds. For us, it was a nice,
Eternity.
yeah, an eternity.
Always an eternity with you, Josh.
I'm going to take that as a positive thing.
I feel
Wow.
defeated yet inexplicably rejuvenated.
Not rejuvenated. Not rejuvenated.
It was somewhat sweet.
I'm going to take it as that. I'm going to take it because that's the only way I can be happy right now.
We won't
Let's
allow
fucking
that.
do this.
So, after some nightmares, maybe only one, maybe a couple, some sleep casting, and Silkus being pompous. I don't remember when that happened. I'm just assuming it
There's a
did.
lot there.
Yeah. The party all got together and had a lengthy discussion about the future and where they were going to be heading.
Where do you want to see yourself? in
Number
5
of
years?
options presented themselves, including heading to Gradalia, all the way over, almost on the opposite side of the world. Alternatively, heading south or heading east within Dale and Dower to find the source of Sulphur's sickness or Fenrir. It has been decided that the party will head east, looking for the rider that supposedly caused Sulphur's disease. And that is where we left off. So, what would you all like to do?
I wanted to find some clean bandages.
Yes, okay, so...
If
you're
I
looking
can
for
do that on the
bandages.
way to the butcher, I'm happy. Otherwise, I'll split off.
Yes, you can. So you can go by the infirmary if you like. Alternatively, there will be there are a number of shops around the butchery. You remember?
Knowing that she said that they didn't have a lot of supplies in the infirmary, I will not take anything from them.
Okay. Then around the butcher itself, there were some more stores.
Yeah, I literally just want a piece of cloth, even that I can then shred, as long as it's clean.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty much what I'm looking for.
So, because you were heading to the butcher.
I got a couple places I want to go. First one is the butcher because I'm pretty sure it's on the way.
Okay. And no one else had anything in particular within Chimera you wanted to do, yeah?
I'll probably try and find a way to scrounge up a bottle of really cheap whiskey if I can, but
I know actually quite the place actually. If you want to
I'd
come,
be-
going that way.
if you're shouting, I'll come wherever.
Sure, not a problem. What about you? obviously you're not safe by yourself. We can get a quick drink before you leave.
I'll go with Sariel.
Probably the wiser choice.
Okay, so you're splitting into two groups.
Split the party. Session 2. Let's do it.
Why is it always you?
Why is it always you?
Look, I just want condemnation for.
So should
everyone
we
here.
just plan to meet you at Butcher's?
I'll meet down
Stables maybe seems like a decent
Probably.
plan.
stables.
I don't actually know where the stables are.
Well, it's actually
Well, the stables themselves are towards the eastern gate.
Yeah.
So you'll be looking for any livestock at all, or any
take
selling
them.
of animals or anything like that. You'd be looking towards the outskirts of the perimeter, or even on the outside of the walls. And in this case, you're heading east. So
I'll tell you what.
So, what's
I'll
the
meet you at
eastern
the
gate,
eastern
maybe?
gate. Saliel. Meet at the eastern gate. And I'll be there with some supplies and some actual traveling equipment. So break? No? Oh,
you
no.
just had a break.
And I'm gonna continue. Then walk away.
Okay.
First to the butchers.
So you two
Yep.
heading together. You two heading together. We'll start with. Well, I mean, you're all going towards the butchers anyway.
Break. Leave the
Why
same
don't we just
direction.
say that we had this conversation outside of the Butcher's,
Okay,
and I
cool.
will split off to go find my.
So Silkus, the sign leans up against the butcher currently. It was torn down in a recent one of the recent storms that happened in the past Twi. It's a month and a season. They're very similar. And now you're looking at the front of the butcher, and not only is the sign ripped off its mounting, but some of the wall has also been destroyed. And you remember that was from the purple energy javelin that was flung
Alright.
by the
that's
rider.
A lot further out my expertise.
The mounting is still there for the sign.
Yeah.
All you need to do with the sign is actually put it up there. But
Might go in and
another
just
title.
see how he's doing. And I'll just head in.
I'll like sort of wait by the door and kind of like in that in between. Am I going in? Am I staying out? Sort of both.
Like I just don't notice, I just walk in.
Okay. You walk in, Haran's there, attending to, he's putting some more meat in the display. Looks like some lamb and some other, you can see pork chops and similar things. Looks like he's probably just had a shipment. And as he's there stocking the display, he looks up and goes, Silkus, hello!
Hello.
It's good to see you, my boy.
It's good to see you. Say, I noticed the sign is still
Well, I've been waiting on you. I mean, you promised, and I'm happy to wait. It's not urgent.
Did you notice the rest of that?
I
game?
did
So,
notice
yeah,
that.
It's a bit out of my expertise, so I can't really.
A
help you
lot has
there.
happened in our little back alley here in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
A wanted sighting,
Mm,
some dude on a horse throwing purple energy at us,
that was quite frightening, actually.
but nothing stops business.
No, you look like you're in good health.
I personally, yes. The front of the
Great.
shop, not so much. But
Things can be
today,
rebuilt.
if we could just get that sign up, that would be absolutely wonderful. Thank
Not
you.
a problem. I don't suppose you have any of the tools that I can use.
Absolutely, and he heads up back, grabs a hammer, some nails, and just some basic, a small step ladder. Brings them all out, hands them over to you. And
Perfect.
says, "If you need a hand, I'm happy to help. But looks like you've got your own help."
got a
and says,
companion.
John.
Sure, you
I'll
can
help
be able to
out.
help. And I just pick up the stuff and like, shoulder over my shoulder, kind of walk out. Alright, this is gonna take a few minutes. Do you mind actually holding the sign up correctly so I can actually be able to tap it in? You seem to be a lot lot stronger than I am.
Sure thing. I'll like get a like foot on like probably a damaged section of the wall to like hoist myself up so I can like reach the sign since
Okay.
I'm like kind of short and like hold it in place.
Make an athletics check, and you're stepping on the step ladder.
I'll be on a step ladder.
Um,
I just do one of those ones that you can just flick out and fold. It's like,
Yeah, it's basically that, but it's just a solid wooden construction that he's handed you with a top handle.
Yep.
So it doesn't fold, but it's the same kind of 2 steps. And
hang
as you
my-
place that down and step up,
hang
roll
my
a
cane.
straight dexterity check for me.
What did I say? Straight
11
strength?
athletics.
11 athletics.
It really does matter on dex. 9.
9. You nailed on.
I nailed it. That's what I did.
It's there. It's a bit crooked. As you both take a step back, the sign is there, kind of hanging a little bit
I do
sideways.
this. I'm like, yes, that's
Um,
fairly good. And as I walk back and I see the other damage in the actual same frame, like, comparative, that actually kind of works.
Like the
Kind of
the 2 chains that actually hold the sign itself to the board that you've nailed to the mount. There's just kind of like this, and part of the sign's moving, and
that'll have to do for now.
clang, and the whole thing falls to the ground.
So I was mistaken. Okay, one more try.
How about I give it a go this time?
If you want, sure. I just hand the hammer.
All right, you
Me,
step
or
up on the
John
step ladder.
always seemed tired.
Yep.
If only you were Andor.
Second wind.
Yes. Make a dexterity check for me. Ooh.
We are not doing well
6.
right now.
6.
We found
Okay.
our kryptonite. A sign.
Yeah, you two are having trouble with this sign, and Haran kind of comes out and just says, "Are you having an issue there?"
Well, I'm not real. It's not hammering is the real my expertise, but a promise was a promise. But yeah, we having a slight problem. But nothing. I guess we can't handle. It's
I
a
can
hammer.
tell that it's not your expertise, and he kind of grabs the sign, goes up, and he's
Don't
like,
need to be so rude about
"You're
it.
you're missing this part," and he kind of like locks it into a certain spot, and it holds it there. The mount is made for this particular like insert.
Yep.
And it hangs perfectly straight. And then all it is just
Job is done.
If you
There
just-
you go.
give that a bit of a nail in. That'll do it for me.
Oh my god.
I feel like I should. I feel like I got
The
caught
two
at
of
one
you,
point.
the two of you manage. Haran kind of chuckles at you,
Never bet
heads
with
back
his man.
inside, and gives you
Never
a
bet with his man.
"Thank you, young man," and then kind of coin flicks a gold at you in thanks.
I feel like he's just kind of rubbing it in a little bit.
Always.
He's,
And then he heads up back. In the meantime, as you two hear all this going down, the clanging in the background and eventual smash of
my God.
chains falling to the ground, a few shops down you do find a herbalist. Just a small one, nothing particularly fancy, which most of the stuff around this area isn't. As you head in, you can see that they have a few things in the way of medicinal items, such as bandages and a couple potions. Looks more of a place for the selling of raw materials and ingredients, but they do have a couple of
Do I see anything that might alleviate discomfort or sulfurs? They're not quite wounds, are they? More lesion.
roll a survival check for me.
Survival.
I hope you're good at that.
I am good at that.
That's good.
It is a 16.
16. There is one section of shelving which is mostly focused on herbs that can be turned into ointments and similar things to treat wounds. Nothing for disease, but you do find things that can treat physical wounds.
Oh, I just want something almost like a, I suppose the equivalent would be like a topical, like a Voltaren. Just like
Right. Yeah,
something
that's
rub
essentially what you find.
or poultice that would just not make it hurt as much. Maybe just doesn't even affect the healing.
Yeah,
Just
that's pretty much what you find on this shelf. It's all ointment style things, yet to be turned into ointments, but all herbs to be used in things like that. A lot of these herbs you do recognize as things that can be just broken and rubbed on a wound, but are more effective as ointments or poultices.
yes. Well, I want to grab some herbs that I can mix together into a poultice.
Okay. You grab those and you grab a couple bandages or rolls of bandages that are sat on the shelves in another part of the shop. You head up to the counter, and it's actually a dragonborn, a red dragonborn, greets you. They're very large dragonborns, standing at up to 10, 11, 12 feet sometimes. And this shop does not accommodate for that. This dragonborn is very hunched over and kind of greets you and says, "Hello!
Hello.
Looking to purchase some herbs?"
Yes, and bandages too, please.
Okay, absolutely. The bandages will come to 2 silver each, and the herbs themselves altogether a gold.
Okay. How many rolls of bandages does he have?
They have, out on the shelves, there are about 4, so however many you like.
And you said 2 silver each,
2 silver each.
so it'll be 8 silver, 1 gold.
Yes.
Okay. I will get all of that, please.
Okay. Thank you for doing business, and hands over or hands back your items after inspecting them for their price tags.
Do you have any town maps?
Not here, young man. I don't think we know exactly the place.
Where
You might be
would
better served heading over to the Western Blights, but that's a good couple hours of travel.
Okay. Thank you.
Interesting. Why do you want a town map if we won't be staying in town?
I want to learn where I am.
Fair enough.
All these people keep telling me names of these places, and I have no context for it. Oh well.
Will that be all for today?
I've already left.
Yes, thank you. Well,
Okay.
at least from me. Is there anything you want? Other than a town map?
I've already left. I walked out when he said no.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good day.
Actually, I'm going to turn around right in the doorway and ask if I can borrow a mortar and pestle for just a moment.
Absolutely. A couple over there that you can use, and points to looks like a mixing table.
Alright, I'm just going to make the poultice that I want because I realise I don't actually have a mortar and pestle in my inventory.
Okay. Roll a medicine check.
I knew you were going to say medicine. 2 seconds. Get the right. Natural 20!
Hey.
Very nice. You don't waste a single ingredient, and you now have the amount of herbs that you bought. You have 6 applications of medicinal herbs.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm just going to walk outside and immediately put one of the applications worth on her.
Okay.
And I'll thank him on my way out for letting me use the mortar and pestle. I'm not rude.
You're very welcome. Sulfur seems immediately appreciative, and the limp gets a little bit better. So it's definitely worked.
Yeah, awesome.
All right,
Okay.
back to you. You wanted to go somewhere else.
Started heading down, and I'm like, so I think I might have mentioned before, the Grumpy Bard.
Barb.
Yes. Keep forgetting what it is. It's they had a bit of name changer in there throughout the days.
Used to be the Happy Bard.
Great.
Then someone got really angry.
Great ale. Great whiskey. We'll have a pint before we shove off.
Never say no to free booze.
That's a good way to start. And we'll continue. We'll head down there.
Okay. The Grumpy Bard.
In the meanwhile, while I'm walking, I'll
Yeah.
be still saying hello to people and
Yeah.
be my usual chatty self.
The Grumpy Barb itself is not too far from Harren's. It's all within the Eastern Blights. It's where you spend the most time because it's the easiest to access from your area in the Chine. So you make your way through the streets and eventually reach the Grumpy Barb. You're heading inside. As you open, you are hit with all the smells. At this point, it's only it's only late morning, early afternoon at this point. I just went from, I just said every single prefix. I swear I was trying to say one thing. It's only late morning.
Morning.
early afternoon at this point.
Okay.
So there aren't really many patrons.
Sure.
It's kind of lunch hour, but most people are working. So as you head in, you are hit with the smells and the kind of the heat of the cooking that's going on in the back. It's not a very large building, but it's very familiar to you.
Yep.
And there are a lot of empty tables. The bartender immediately sees you and recognizes you.
Circle's here.
Hello, Silkus.
How's it going?
Welcome once again. Good.
Great
How are
to
you
see
today?
you. Ah, fantastic. About to actually leave. We're going on an adventure. Remember all the times I've mentioned that?
I see you found yourself a companion.
Yes. I was going to go by myself. I haven't seen... Actually, yeah, that actually brings up a good point. Have you seen Ballad and Terrell?
Not
They
today.
have.
They came in yesterday, but everyone was a little bit shaken by the riders coming through.
Yeah, that was a bit of a... That was a bit of a crazy thing to happen. I was actually right there. Actually, we both were. When that
You
actually
were there
happened.
for it.
Yeah, of course.
You were lucky to come out of it alive.
They were lucky. Always they're the lucky ones.
So that's where you get your accent.
From the bartender.
Picked up every day.
Yep, let's just take a break in roleplay for a moment.
Yeah,
Take a drink.
we'll actually drink.
So merciful.
What would you like today?
I'll tell the usual. What would you like though?
Whiskey, neat.
A whiskey for the man? I can absolutely do that. And Silkus, the usual coming up.
Thank you very much.
Would you like this to go? You seem like you're in a rush.
Don't think we're in that much of a rush. Small little thing, then we'll just head off. No, we'll have a deal.
Okay.
I want to soak up before I leave because I don't know when I'm going to see this place again.
Okay, and the bartender turns and there's the big kegs lying in the back wall. And turns to one of them in particular, fills up a tankard, hands it over to you, John, and then the other one actually goes around to the
My kind of man.
they don't go short at the Grumpy Bar, but it's why he likes it. Then goes around the back.
This is another glass of milk.
He can say what my usual is
Yeah,
because I forgot what I wrote.
I don't remember you writing anything. I'll be honest. Anyway,
That's why I forgot.
goes around the back and
Comes out with a Malibu sunrise.
yeah, exactly. A few moments
Whatever
later,
it is.
appears with what is actually a sealed. It's tankard size, but it's sealed, and hands it over to Silkus. You
Bubble tea.
pop it open, and it is alcohol. It's
Purest form.
it's a dark but kind of milky colored cocktail. And it's a regular of Silkus. They know the moment you walk in that they're going to start preparing this one. It's a house special.
Can't get enough of this place. It's the character. It's great. It's the usuals though. Then they come out a little bit later in the evening, but so good. Anyway,
Yeah.
tops.
Day drinking.
Day drinking.
So, Silkus, you keep mentioning your father, but like, I kind of
Oh,
get
do I?
Yeah, a couple of times, but
Ah.
kind of curious. Is like, does he not approve of your I don't know, mingling, like town pursuits, as it were? Because
he doesn't really approve much of the things I do. So I guess this is one of them. Yeah,
that's a shame.
that's a right shame. But you know what? Can't really say too bad about him. Don't know who's listening really, so I can't.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just no, he's all right. He's okay. But I don't really think. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one in my family that's come down this way. This is my usual spot. I've been here for many years. The stories I could tell you, it's been crazy. It's been just I mean, there was a lot of times there was I had a few mercenaries come in and try to boss them around, and I was there just with my two friends, Ballard and Terrell. I don't know if you heard what I meant before. Those two, best people. They're great. They stormed up. I finished drinking, and we just attacked them. We fought them out of this bar, and they didn't see it coming. It was really good. Pretty sure. Actually, when I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've caused most of the fights in here, then actually helped save it. But
Ain't that the truth? Says the bartender from the back.
You couldn't change me if you want to.
I don't want to. It's
That's
fun
all
to
I can-
watch.
That's what I'd like to hear.
Called the Grumpy Barb for a reason, Silkus.
Yeah.
You know this.
Oh, I do. You want to tell the story to the new guy, though? By all means.
Silkus here is quite a troublemaker.
I would never have guessed.
Once had a guy come in about twice his size, starting to cause fights. He was threatening people and far too intoxicated
Right,
for my
right.
liking. And Silkus took umbrage to it when he threatened one of his friends. And I believe all I remember is that Silkus walked up to him, and the guy shat his pants and ran. That was about it.
Never took you for the intimidating type.
Oh, well, I don't really think of myself that intimidating. I just think others are just too timid.
He later came back and beat the hell out of Silkus, but we don't talk about that one.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Sure you don't.
Point is, this is my home. This is pretty much the way I live. Love this place, and you know, it's actually kind of sad that I've actually gonna not see it for a while. Almost brings a tear to my eye.
We'll see you again. Might not be for a bit, but we'll see you again.
I'm sure we will. Well, if Ballard and Till does ask where I am, to tell them I'm finally left.
Will do.
Well, you all done?
About all done. Like think have like the remaining say like up to half, and then like siphon the rest of the tankard of whiskey off into like a bottle in my jacket, because even I'm not stupid enough to try and chug a tankard of whiskey.
Yep.
I'm gonna quickly grab I'm gonna go. We
You
just
got like
saying.
a camel bag or something.
Got a little flask.
like it's like a hip flask,
Yeah,
but
they're
a
actually
bit bigger than
in the
would be
process of
normal.
handing you
Yeah, like a canteen.
for the road, and hands you a full one of your drink, sealed,
love
and
this
then
man.
brings out another one of those sealed ones, but unsealed and empty, and lets you siphon your whiskey into it, and then seals it
Yeah.
for you and hands it to you.
The taste of home. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We hope to see you again in the near future.
I drop a few gold coins.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, you got
Oh,
far
how
more
much
than
coin do you
is
have?
necessary, but yes.
I'm pretty sure he's got all of it.
I'm pretty
am
sure he's
the
won
treasurer.
an archery competition, Glenn. Pretty sure he's won an archery competition.
Yes, exactly. So you two now. Is there anyone else you want to go?
That's just all I've got, and no, I'm just gonna continue going. I might side eye just alleyway, just in case I see another person come around there.
Yeah. So you look into one alley and there's another
Suspicious of
person with
alleys.
full runes. No. Yeah.
Suspicious of
No.
alleyways now.
You make your way out to the eastern gate, or to the stables near the eastern gate. You two have done the same.
On the way to the eastern gate, have I come across a random piece of paper? I'll take a wanted poster off the wall.
Sure.
Fuck it, why not? And B, have I come across like a town map of sorts, like publicly posted? You are here sort of thing.
No. All of this area, the entirety of Eastern Chimeria is just blights. It's all slums.
Yeah.
And beyond the few shops every here and there, it's all residential. You do pass by a mausoleum, relatively close to the butchery, about 20 minutes away from it. But beyond that point, you don't see anything else of much note, unfortunately.
Right. I'm gonna
You can
mark
always
the...
ask. You can always ask Silkus, that was his name, Silkus, to maybe draw you a map
I
if you're that
could.
determined.
I'm gonna put a mark for the butcher, and a mark for the mausoleum.
Okay.
And I'll let Silkus fill in the rest later.
I'm kind of picturing like you take the sign and you grab a brush and just do a big mustache. And then just go mustache.
Okay. So you're all now heading over to the stables?
No, stables. Yeah.
Okay.
Did Sulfur already have a dressing on it on the wound before
No.
No? Okay. Cool. Good to know.
No, because we'd only sort of just arrived and I didn't have any.
Okay.
All right.
I wasn't sure how pre-existing it was. That was all. All good.
It's not like. I just noticed that she's limping and I don't like it.
Okay.
Like, her being in pain's throwing me off.
Gotcha.
Upon meeting up, obviously I'm seeing the limping one, and now I'm kind of like, could I check maybe if it's the injury is beyond mere just slashing, like kind of poison or something with my alchemist proficiency?
Okay. So as you two arrive at the stables, because you two would have arrived sooner. As you two arrive, you see Sariel and Sulfur moving around together, and you see Sulfur limping still, and the thought kind of occurs in your mind that this could be a poison of some sort. You head over, and do you ask?
No, for now I'm just now just noticed, so I'm gonna leave it for now.
Okay.
Actually, so you're all good to go.
Waiting on you.
Sorry, I had to
Good
say
whenever.
good. Sorry. By all means.
Good whenever. I suppose you'll be accustomed to taking a carriage.
Sure. Yeah, I think it'd be the best way to travel. I do apologize for being a bit late. Had to say goodbye to a couple friends. I'm gonna just walk into the stables.
Okay.
I'm going to stay outside the stables because wolves and horses don't really make a move.
The
Mortal enemies.
the stables are a very open area. There is a enclosed building which is where they kind of run the shop, but for the most part it's all relatively open.
Is there
and
a bell?
there is not a bell in here.
Can
It is
I,
a small enough building they don't need that.
There's a cow.
I want to shrilly whistle and get Silkus' attention.
Scare the shit out of me.
If you intend to get horses, maybe you should test them and see if they'll freak out about my companion here first.
I'm sure to mention that to them.
Well, I'm just picturing you buying a bunch of horses, them approaching Sulfur and the fuck out, and you not having horses anymore.
That's a very, very good point there. I'll make sure I'll pass it on. As I head in. What do I see?
So you just see it's a very simple layout. You walk in and there's just right in front of you. There's a couple benches. There's no counter, but there's a couple benches where they seem to have some paperwork. And then there, all along the walls, there are pegs with equipment hanging from them, saddles, all kinds of harnesses and tack. And you walk in and there's a half elf in there, attending to some tack that's on the wall, hangs it up and kind of just tightens some straps to make sure it's not hanging too loosely. As you walk in, the half elf turns around and says, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
Hello. Kind of need some looking at horses and maybe a carriage of some sort to do a bit of traveling.
I don't think I could provide a carriage, but we certainly have carts.
Yeah, cart will do.
Okay, how many horses, how many people are you pulling? How much weight are you pulling?
Well, that's the funny thing. We got counting 4 of us, except we also have a fifth that happens to be a wolf.
A wolf?
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a different thing for me too.
So you'd be looking for a horse that wouldn't be spooked,
We
yes?
need something not so timid.
Several
Okay.
horses that wouldn't be spooked would be better.
Yes.
Just one.
So 4 people plus a wolf.
You need one timid and one.
Any
not
cargo? Any plans for cargo?
Not really what we got on us right now, but
You've
if
got to
you
carry your bank balance with you. I'm not there.
look, his ego will carry that, okay? As for cargo, just really what I've got and what we're carrying with us. Do you have any I wouldn't know if you're carrying supplies or something that we could.
Only
rations or
only
something?
tack, no rations.
Right. Where would I actually need to go to get those kind of supplies?
I mean, across the road where there's a guardhouse, they might have some rations in there.
Probably have to go there anyway. Well, that's fair. How much would it be for the horses and the cart?
4 people in a cart with a wolf. You'd be looking at least 2 horses, 15 gold each. Maybe for horses that aren't spooked, you'd probably be looking at our more finer range, which should be more 20 gold each. So they come to 40 gold plus the cart, which is another 5, so 45 gold total.
45 gold total. Alright. Well, to be fair, the wolf will probably do a lot of it on walking for a little bit. Sure, it's going to go in there, but let's be honest, it's probably not going to be like in the confined area of a cart. As for the final horses, if they're going to be that good, that's probably, yeah, I would, the best I can do is probably about 35.
Oh, so now you start to act not there.
Well, we're giving up a lot for these ones. These horses are our best, and we have been breeding from them, and we'd be willing to sell them, but
Well, I could give
35
you,
a little low. I'd be happy to go down to 42.
I could give you probably a good word. My name's Silkus Newid.
You're a Newid?
Yes, I'm pretty sure we can give you a good word.
I'm sure you can afford it then.
You think, see, the thing about that is,
How about
he
40
put his
gold?
foot in
And we'll
it.
call it even.
40 gold would be just right.
All right then. Grabs a couple harnesses off of the walls, takes your gold, stashes it in a lockbox, and and heads out with you to grab two
Open my own fat mouth.
fine horses. One's a what's a spade? What's a male? Because stallion is when they're not
Gelding.
gelding. Finds a
Okay.
gelding and a mare, and harnesses them up and gets them ready to go. Brings them over to a cart that's around in kind of the back area of the stables. Hooks them up for you, and
Are we talking like a cart with it like a roof?
no, it's just an open cart.
Do you have anything that, any card that actually would
This is the best I can do. I'm sorry.
That was very abrupt.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said it was very abrupt.
Oh.
You're like, have you got any? He's like, no.
I said no. Alright, well, would be anything good for the weather though?
This is the best you'll get. You can get some canvas coverings. I might be able to sort one of those out for you.
5 gold.
I guess I'm
Being
kinda,
extra gold, but
I guess I'm
So would
kinda
that
in a
turn
rush.
it into almost like a covered wagon?
similar, yes, but with less protection. It's not permanent protection. I
I'm
wouldn't
yelling
say
this
that.
from across the way.
That'd be
I'm
like
right.
one of the companions gone.
I wouldn't recommend using it for long periods of time in bad weather, but for a trip, you can certainly use it.
Well, I mean, I'm not really. I'm a bit of a rush, I guess. Sure. Yeah, I guess I'll do.
Yeah.
As long as it's also not too spooked. that'd be
So it's
alright,
one more
maybe.
gold, and they go and retrieve it's a very large canvas
I'm
covering.
using the gold that I got from the butcher.
Essentially, what it is, it's
Oh,
kind
okay.
of like spring steel frame, and they insert it into the sides, and it just the tension of the metal itself keeps the canvas open, and makes it a covered cut. It's good for looking at. It's good for protecting from light weather, anything strong like a strong storm or high winds may either destroy it or just blow it away. But it will protect you from rain, and it will protect you from sight as well.
Excellent.
It's just a plain kind of cream-colored canvas covering.
Underplaying
It's
colours,
literally
that's
what
one
you'd
nice idea.
expect, like I'm picturing this as a covered wagon that settlers would have used in the Wild West, right?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I was picturing it. That's what I was asking about.
Oh. Alright, well, thank you very much. I guess I better find those supplies then. Great. And I just like, as the car and when it goes out, I'm just like, showing these like, ta-da!
Yeah, as you lead the horses out to them, they've been in view pretty much the whole time, but when you went around the back to get attached to the cart, they were hidden a little bit by the posts and some of the walls. But as you bring them around, you kind of Ta-da! And
Got the
you
cart
see
for everyone.
Silkus has got a cart, 2 horses, and a covering for the cart.
Well, next thing we need is
I'm
probably
going to
supplies.
slowly approach one of the horses, and because of my peculiar scent, I'm going to see how it reacts to my smell.
The horse initially balks. It doesn't rear up, but it balks a little bit at the smell and at the sight of sulfur in the back. But it seems relatively fine with it. It's, as they stated to Silkus, one of the braver horses, one of the final horses that's being more trained for these kinds of things. And it doesn't have too much of a problem.
Okay.
Well, I delivered as I promised. Everyone happy with this?
Yeah, this is excellent. I should do a good job.
Great. Probably gonna need some supplies though. The men in there kind of made that aware.
Suppose so.
I will give Silkus 1 gold to put towards supplies.
Okay.
Oh, very a lot of things there.
I got something of an empty purse. At the
Don't
moment,
worry
so,
about it. That's fine. If you can't afford it, then I'm not gonna worry too much.
If in desperate, I can always forage. Depending where we are.
Oh, great. Hopefully we're not
And
gonna
how-
need that. I have quite the delicate stomach.
Oh my god.
Why am I not surprised?
Don't
You
insult
remind me
my
of
cooking
Rodney
before you
McKay from
experience it.
Stargate Atlantis.
I don't know who that is.
Is that citrus?
Oh wait, I do. I do.
Don't insult my cooking before you experience it, young
I
man.
wouldn't dare. Just I'm kind of used to the high living a little bit. If that has been come to aware.
I get in the
Can I
cart.
pointedly look at his stomach?
It's a stomach.
Is your
It's
is
a
your
little
stomach
bit rounder than it probably
flat?
should be.
It's a
Yeah.
slight. It's not really the most.
I'm going to like walk up and just like chink his belt slightly tighter and be like, "That'll be comfortable by the end of this," and walk off.
Can't breathe.
And then do you pat it for good luck?
Touch it like you might touch it like a rude person touches a pregnant lady's belly.
But well,
No, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to make like literally walk up quite rudely, grab his belt, make it go in by one. So it's uncomfortable, like so it's squeezing on his tummy a little bit, and be like, "That's not going to be painful later," and
Hey,
just
mm,
back off.
well, I'll go
Well,
get
if
those
he's going
supplies.
on his first adventure, the boy needs to wise up. He's not going to get fancy ass meals every night. Come the fuck.
Gonna go and get those supplies. As I kind of stiffly walk.
I appreciate the fact that he hasn't just undone his belt.
Yeah.
I wait till I get inside to undo it.
Far too proud.
Yeah, so you walk across the way to, there is a...
Your belt should absolutely have to make a con saving throw.
Yes.
Okay, point out.
No,
Strength
strength
saving
saving throw.
He ain't obese. Okay, this point out. It's slightly.
There's a lot of pressure on that belt.
How dare you, malnourished person?
I mean,
Polar
say
opposites
this.
in many
She
ways. Okay.
quite literally said she tightened it till it was tight.
Alright, I'm in the building.
Yeah, so you walk through
I
the
got
door
this.
to the barracks.
Bang!
Yes. You walk through the door of the barracks, close it behind you. You make sure to close it behind you. You can loosen your belt. And
Right.
there is it's kind of a foyer room with what would be a reception desk essentially, and there is a Kaim sentry sitting there. You don't recognize this one in particular, but they wear the uniform, and he's sitting there just minding the desk. He kind of says, "Hello, welcome.
Hi.
What are you looking for?"
Looking for supplies.
I mean, we're not a shop.
Well, I was kind of directed over here by the stables. I'm not really accustomed to this area.
What are you looking for supplies for?
Well, I figured it'd probably be best to come over here anyway. We are, me and a few compatriots are going to be doing a little bit of traveling. And figured it would be best to come over here for supplies and bros to let you know that's going to happen. As I'm sure security is a thing.
I think you overestimate yourself there, young man. I don't think we care. But You're lucky. If you're heading out the eastern gate, it's only just being reopened.
Oh,
It was
great.
closed after the rider came through.
Do you mind actually? I was actually there when actually they attacked. Do you mind?
You're lucky to get out of it alive.
Yeah. What actually happened? How did you actually get through?
Well, as you go through the eastern gate, you may look at the ground and the walls around you, and you may see some bloodstains. We had some casualties. Some of the guys died and some were injured, and the rider made its way through.
Really sorry to hear that.
But that's the way things are, and the gate has just reopened. We have eliminated any potential other threats that may have been in question, or at least for this particular gate, and you'll be able to head through now. And you're looking for supplies to head. How far are you going?
Well, heading, actually really don't know. Just seeing how far we'll go.
Roll a history check.
Fucking hell.
Circus has definitely never been out of
Seven?
the city, has he?
7, I believe, on history.
I don't think it's even to this half of the city.
You say 7?
Yeah.
You are aware of. You're not exactly sure why or what you're looking for at the moment, but you are aware of 2 major towns out to the east. You've got Freda Town, which is about 4.
Did you say Frodo Town?
Freda Town,
He's the most skilled
which is about 4 days ride east southeast, and then near Freda Town there is a bridge across one of the rivers, which will lead you up to the northern coast once again, up to Arkenhau.
Looking at probably a Freda town. But beyond that, complete mystery. You said
Freda
other
town.
threats though. That's what I'm more curious about.
Well, we had to ensure that there wasn't anything else going to be coming this way. There were rumors of another rider following the one that came through here, and we wanted to ensure that it wasn't still in the city when we opened the gate.
So would we be, I guess we would be probably facing some of that possibly if we go through here? Or has it all kind of been contained to a point?
Outside of these walls, I can't tell you. We don't know. The rider headed east, and that was as far as we know. We did not pursue.
Oh,
Not after the casualties we suffered.
well that's a bit, that'll be alright. As I always say, never fear the fall. So, we'll be fine.
Morgan guide you. How many rations? 4 days only? Would you like more?
Probably try to go for a week.
A week?
Never
Okay.
know.
Heads out the back, grabs about that big of a pile of stacked rations. They're in bags. They're in like just kind of hewn bags from some form of fabric, and you can tell they're hard rations. Nothing fancy. Hands them over to you and says, "Look, we don't really usually sell these, but we'll take 5 silver for them if you're looking.
Yeah, why not?
Anything to help the Kime Sanctuaries.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Make it 6. Just for that."
You're terrible at negotiating.
I'll tell you what, how about we keep it at 5 and I don't tell my father, Roderick, so Neward, about your...
Roderick Neward.
Stop
Yes.
using the daddy card.
You guys aren't here, shut up.
It's so embarrassing.
He's not,
Josh.
but I am.
5 silver.
Much appreciated. And put the 5 silver down.
He takes it and dumps the pile.
Have a good day. I'm sorry about your losses. And I pick up the stuff and I leave.
Okay.
Wait, you're with me?
No.
No! Definitely
Just
not.
in the corner. It's like,
after he walks out with everything,
I'm kind of like this.
and I see it's all hard rations, because obviously I'll have seen rations.
Yeah.
Can I walk in? I want to walk into the guard room thing, and I just want to politely ask if they've got any meat jerky or anything like that. that I could please have.
You don't happen to be a
Stranger
friend of his, do you?
He's an idiot.
I'll grab you
And
some meat jerky.
I will teach him to not be as much of an idiot, believe me.
Please do. And he goes and grabs more from the from where he previously grabbed them, and comes out with some more of
Hopefully
the
dry
same
fruits
bags.
and-
But as you check inside these bags, there are various types of jerky. There's meats that you recognize and a couple that you don't. Chimera has been like that for you so far.
So much out there
okay.
jerky.
How much would you
Yeah.
like for this?
Look, just take it on the promise that you'll
Fix
do
it.
something about that.
I'll drop 2 silver on the table and walk out.
It's appreciated.
And nod, like acknowledgement to what he's saying. You know?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, delivered the food, delivered the cart. Let's get going. What do I?
Like Uber Eats.
For the first time this
Let's-
session, I'm gonna put. I'm waiting for you all to laugh at this, but I'm gonna put all the food down and then clop him in the back of the head.
What was that for?
Don't be rude to the guards.
Be rude to whoever want to be.
Have you looked at what he gave you? Mr.
I-
Fine Foods wouldn't survive a day on what he gave you.
That's a bit troubling.
Don't be rude to the people who are giving you something that they probably cannot spare.
Trust me, they could definitely spend.
No. Just because you can does not mean everybody else can. You should learn to respect other people. And I will move. And I want to start checking the sides of the road for any of the sort of pestilence and destruction that I've noticed following this rider around.
Okay. There is. The city isn't completely devoid of plant life, and there are some. There is grass, and there are some smaller shrubs and things like that along the side of the road. You do see a lot of the signs of that rider having come through based on your previous experience tracking it. A lot of the plants are withering and look very sick, look very diseased. Even the grass is kind of going brown and splotchy, and none of it looks healthy.
He's definitely been this way.
Okay.
Someday you probably have to give us a name on that one. But until then, let's get going.
Yeah, let's.
How does one drive this?
Yeah.
You would definitely
I'm
know.
like in the driver's
Yeah.
seat. I'm just like,
You have absolutely never had to do this before.
never
Can
In
did.
your
I
life.
like sigh loudly and just shove him over?
All right.
Let the life skills begin.
This is gonna be quite
Alright.
quite fun.
So you start moving in your horse and cart. You all pile into the back.
I'm first in the back,
Okay.
kind of trying to be as
Yeah.
out of sight as possible, just in case we get stopped at any time behind a giant wolf.
Okay.
I'm writing stuff in my notebook. Like I take it out on next to. I'm like, Sorrel is a bit surly for things that she does not
Hey.
actually understand.
Can I?
A, she's
Apparently-
within arm's distance, and B,
I'm
you're
not-
reading out loud as you're.
As I see him not paying attention to how to drive the horses, I want to slap his book shut.
Wonder Bunny, do not shut this book. This book is a price.
Look,
Price,
that's
This book is a price.
prize possession of mine. I'm currently writing down
Sure.
notes how to ride the horse.
sure. Highly doubt you're writing that because you haven't paid any attention. If I handed you the
Probably
reins
are.
right now, would you know what to do?
Absolutely.
Right, handing him the reins.
Yeah, the horses just keep doing what you asked them to do, Zariel.
No problem. No problem.
Nothing changes.
I'm
I don't see
going
what's the big
to
problem.
kick one of the horses in the rump. lightly. but
the
enough to
one
avoid it.
horse takes off. The other horse is lagging behind, and it's
So
very,
what do you do?
very disconcerting.
First you call for help. Help! Help!
I'll take back the reins, calm down the horse, and
Just
tell
like,
him to pay attention.
Oh,
You-
you gotta learn how to
you
crawl
two-
to walk before you run.
You two in the back, you feel a sudden jerk sideways, and you feel the whole cart sliding and just grinding along the ground sideways.
Is
Eventually
that
gets
normal?
corrected.
No, I'm guessing some idiot decided that they knew precisely how to ride a cart.
It doesn't take you long.
Is the wolf walking along behind us, or is it in the
She
cart?
will run pretty much equal to me, but off the side of the road.
Okay,
So, like, tree line.
cool. Cool.
Yeah. Or building line in this case.
As a wolf, she is quite used to the idea of somebody seeing her on the road and freaking out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so it doesn't take you too long to reach the Eastern Gate. You were only about 10 minutes from it when you stopped to buy supplies. You do reach the Eastern Gate, and as you approach, even though it's mostly been cleared up, you do all see the aftermath peeking out through the canvas, you two. You see the aftermath of what was obviously a battle. The ground in various places is stained with darkened blood. The gate itself is damaged. It's just two very large double door gates that swing open, and they are damaged. There is a large bloodstain on one of the watchtowers beside the gate. You can see over the railing of the watchtower there's a bloodstain, and some blood has actually dripped down onto the stone itself of the wall. And then there are a couple spiders of blood on the wall as well.
I'm like, just like,
Silkus, you have experience with the gates. You've been to each of the gates at least a couple times, and the guard presence here is very thin. There are only 2 guards where there usually would be somewhere in excess of 8 to 10.
and what are the guys currently doing? Are they just...
They are both standing either side of the door, with, in this case, they're both wielding halberds. One of them is looking into the city, and one of them is on the other side of the door looking out of the city.
Alright. So, just slow down the cart a little bit. We're gonna have to do a quick stop talk. Excuse me.
Be polite.
As soon as
I'll
she
do the
says,
talking.
"Excuse me," I hide under one of the seats in the car.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of try and sit in front of it.
Hi, excuse me there.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Are you looking to head through?
Yes, we are actually. Is it safe?
Nothing outside these walls is safe, young man. But
I kind of got the idea.
as much as it can be, yes. You're referring to the bloodstains, I assume.
Yeah, I'm just looking at him like, that would be one of my concerns, yes.
Whatever it was is gone, as far as we're aware.
Is there anyone else, any other guards around?
Just the 2 of us at the moment. It's all we can spare.
I grab one of my rations and just like put it down there next to him, like, hopefully this could help.
We don't need rations.
Well, I don't know.
We are in the city. I appreciate the gesture, but we don't need rations.
Alright.
Our food is paid for by the city.
And I pick it back up.
Okay?
Is that good enough? Yeah? No? Okay.
Head on through. And be careful. We don't need any more death on our hands.
Thank you very much. Best of luck.
And to you,
Yes.
Morgan guide you.
That gesture was
I'll
good.
guide you.
And you as well. It's heard from inside the cart.
Yeah.
You notice she gives the card a bit of a weird look, like, okay. But
Creaky
dismisses
noises.
it. The security around these gates isn't particularly high. They don't generally worry about people going in and out. They are common trade routes for a lot of the trading caravans and other merchants that might be out on the roads. So they don't check everyone as they go through. You make your way outside the gate. On this side, so as you exit the gate and move past the walls of Chimeria, over to your left, you see as the ground gradually slopes up in plains, and eventually you can see where it just drops. You don't see what's beyond that, but you see maybe quite a few kilometers in that direction, it just kind of drops. To your right, as you exit, there is the edge of the mountain range that Chimeria is nestled in. So you know that on the southwest and southeast sides of Chimeria, the walls are bordered by a mountain range on the outside, and you see the edge of the eastern one. And as you walk out forward, there is a large area of forest laying ahead of you. Pretty dense forest. This forest is known in particular for causing some trouble to travellers moving through it, but the main road itself is patrolled to a degree and generally pretty safe.
I take this probably more your expertise.
Hence trying to teach you to drive the car.
Doing pretty well. Haven't
I'll
crashed
hand him
yet.
the reins again.
You are holding the reins.
No, I'll hand him the reins again.
Okay.
Be aware that
Roll
I can't be here to help you.
roll an intelligence check. Straight
Okay,
intelligence.
so let's check. Well, that's a +1.
What?
No. Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Sariel, you are very surprised by how quickly Silkus has actually picked up on this. You've noticed him watching occasionally, but it's not being with much attention, and you hand him the reins and kind of challenge him, and he takes them.
Look, I'm only as good
He-
as the teacher.
He kind of gives the reins a quick flick, and the horses start to pick up some pace. He seems to be handling them well.
All right. I apologize if I seem rude. I don't have a lot of experience with other people,
That's alright.
but
Can be rude myself.
you did handle that situation with the guards quite well, and it was very polite of you to offer.
Well, I kind of forgot that they get their own food. I don't
You know
deal
why
with
we
the
were able to
guard
get those
side of the
rations.
military. Sorry, say that again, please.
You know why we were able to get those rations?
Well, it was because I asked.
Because there's a few less people for them to feed in this area.
I like to not to think too much of that one.
That's why you need to be polite to those people.
See, the problem is you don't really know me. So no offense,
don't.
but I have my reasons. I will admit that I was rude and I did mix between the military and the guards. That's on me, 100%. But please don't assume that I don't know, or that being rude is just unconventional for me. I can be, but please be aware. Don't assume.
Don't worry, I've seen you be genuine and nice.
And you are a great teacher.
As this conversation...
I wanna hop off the cart, with him being confident and just check the sides of the road and do my usual
Where's
track.
the cruise control?
Yeah, as you do, as you hop down from the cart and start moving alongside it yourself, all of a sudden, Sulfur bolts.
Oh no.
She seems to catch a scent of something and bolts into the trees.
Yeah, so how are you doing?
I'll whistle, and if she doesn't respond, I'm gonna go after her.
You whistle,
I'm
and
ignoring him.
a couple moments
I
pass.
think I'm doing pretty well. I don't actually know.
A couple more moments pass. And then she comes back out of the trees, and she is looking very agitated.
Agitate. Silkus,
Yes.
can you stop the cart, please?
Sure, sure. Whoa.
You do. You manage.
I
Like,
was going to say animal handling check.
kinda
I
half
will-
lean out of the back of the cart. We got problems.
I don't really know. Do I have any
Can
problems?
they see that she's irritated? Because I don't want to have to explain it, but I don't have to.
Leaning out. If you're looking at Sulfur, you can see that she's more hyper than usual.
Could I see maybe this is something to do with the injury? Maybe like a side effect of a poison of some sort. Maybe.
Make a medicine check with disadvantage because you're sitting on the cart,
Sure.
not examining
Just
up
straight
close.
glance, yeah.
So in that 20 that you
19
missed,
and a 9, but with medicine a 10.
10.
Oh, that would've been
Doesn't look like she's reacting to pain of any sort. It doesn't look like she's reacting to anything that might be, an injury or anything like that.
Do we have any? Do we have company or something? So do we have any?
I'm not.
Thing worried.
I'm not entirely sure. But she's not happy.
Should we just keep going and just get away as fast as possible?
I mean, we're not here.
Um,
We're not here to hunt bandits. Like,
That's
No, but we are here to help the wolf.
that's
This
true.
is-
very true.
yeah.
I
Too
get
fair,
off.
fighting
I
bandits
get
is
off
kind
the
of
cart.
what I
Sulfur
want to do.
barks.
If I motion at her to come to me, is she staying where she is?
She takes a couple tentative steps forward, but she keeps looking over her shoulder back towards the tree line.
I just like grab my.
It's never been in my best interest to ignore.
All right then.
Fighting bandits is kind of possible without being an adventure, as I've been told. So it sounds kind of exciting.
You need to read
Okay.
less adventure novels. I say hop off the path and like grab a tree branch from the side of the road.
Okay.
Assuming there's like a suitably sized stick.
Yes.
He says that
I'm
as
gonna do what I just did and put my hood up.
He said that as I was like pocketing them step by step to the wind into my.
I just walk past Sulfur and towards where she's agitated
Okay.
about.
Make a perception check for me.
Hell yeah.
Hey, haven't rolled much. Yet.
18.
Nice.
that's
You look in.
Mm-hmm.
The tree line at this point, it gradually gets thicker, but from what you can see, you don't see any indication of any humans or otherwise being around. Anything that might be hiding, you don't see any indication. You're pretty confident in your scan that you've just done.
What is it? Sulfur.
Do you know?
She looks up at you and
Speaks with
barks. And then she kind of takes a couple more steps
Wow.
back towards the
Wow.
tree line and puts her nose down to the ground, sniffs for a bit, and then looks back at you, Sariel.
Can I? Okay, so I will approach where she's sniffing. Is there anything I can see that she would be smelling? Like, is there blood on the ground? Is there, I don't know, any tracks, like footprints or
Make a survival check for me.
survival?
Hey,
I am good at that.
is your area of expertise?
It is my
Hey.
forests, right? So yeah,
It's favorite terrain,
yeah.
then advantage.
I was so confident for like a split second.
Unnatural 20.
Very nice. You around the area Sulfur that's being sniffing around. You look around. You don't see anything. You see some footprints, but it's very hard to make out anything in particular because this is a well-traveled path. But you head a couple meters further into the tree line, and you wouldn't have caught this if you hadn't been intently looking. You catch hanging from a kind of a spiky bush, you catch a thread of a dark greenish material. You recognize the color. And then a little further in, you find a broken arrow embedded half in the ground.
Do I recognize the fletching on it?
The fletching is very familiar. This is Fenrir's arrow.
Ooh.
The arrow itself looks like it's being in the ground for maybe only a night.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it out.
Okay. You can add that
Is
into your
it
inventory if
actually-
you like. A broken.
Is it actually broken, or is it just embedded?
It is snapped.
So it's in two pieces.
It is, yes. As you withdraw it, it is together, but you withdraw it from the ground, and the arrow is snapped in the middle, and just kind of hangs limply.
I'm just gonna sort of motion at her to see if she can smell him anywhere else.
Yep. Sorry, Sulfur sniffs around the area a little bit more, and seems to lock onto a trail that heads further in, kind of following a game trail, a very narrow, overgrown trail that heads into the forest.
I'm following it.
Okay.
So you're following me,
Yeah.
following her.
Yep.
Okay.
At the cart.
Good
Are
idea.
you leaving the cart at all? As you watch them go, they go out of sight into the forest, following a trail.
Is this trail able to get the cart through?
No.
I'd have just paid for this.
Don't worry, I'll let you know what happens, I say, and I also take off into the forest.
But I'm just, yep, I'll just, okay. There we go. I'm like, I'm looking around. Is there anything watching us?
Make a perception check.
Okay, because 2 plus.
Nothing seems to be watching you. Nothing seems to be watching you, but what you do see is there are a couple areas of clearing in the forest where it kind of goes in, and then you can see where you may be able to stash a cart.
I'm gonna try and guide the horses into there, and then I'll try and run after them.
You manage it, having watched Sariel for a good half hour at least, do various things, stopping, starting, turning the horses. You are able to navigate them into an area where they are relatively hidden from the main road.
Yeah.
You then leave the cart.
Yeah, it's better to go with them than actually to be here. Best luck to your horses. As and then I leave.
Okay. So you're all
Never
following
seeing
this
those
trail.
horses again.
They become
Never
the main
again.
bad guy in the
So you all start following this trail as Sulfur leads the way, heading deeper and deeper into the forest southeast of Chimeria. And as you do, that is where we're going to end the session.
Oh man.
Fun.
Good
So
session,
I have
guys.
not explained what the significance of this broken arrow is to any of you, and none of you are.
You just
You're
left.
just blindly following me in
Well,
in
You
the forest.
left. No point of this was the sulfur.
That's true.
So, hey, if it makes you feel better, I was hesitant.
You're such a
Well,
double-edged sword, you are.
You did just pay like over 40 gold for all of that. Yeah, sort of.
41 gold and 5 silver.
Yes.
Yes.
No matter what you say, you do not have the high ground.
No more, I'm off the cart.
He's off the cart. Just inaccurate.
Well, that was a good session.
That was
I had
good.
fun.
I mean, to be fair, I've met some of Josh's characters that probably would have stayed on the cart. So,
Yeah, no, it's true.
Sell Desmond.
No,
Free
Selwood.
Guys.
Selwood, Freewood,
All of them.
Godmad would have been the one that actually caused the chase in the first place. Desmond would have luckily went after. No, what are you talking about?
Regardless, thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun this session.
That was great.
Letting them kind of. This was the first first time I've really let them take the reins, because it's the first time I've known the world well enough to let them do that.
Quite literally, too.
So that was fun, yes, literally. But we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take it easy.
Breezy.
Bye.
And
Toodles.
all things sleazy? No.